to my brain, my heart, sports talk with Mike. So last night I had about 15, 16 beers. I was feeling very happy with myself, very excited with the games that we had on hand in the NCAA. But then I got mad. I was mad because the damn pizza guy was 40 minutes late, and I just wanted my donair. And I was mad, and when I'm mad, I can't drink. So it really put me in a sour mood, and I'm never going to get over it. I'm never going to order from that place again. But anyway, let's get into it. Enough about my sorrow. Louisville, you shocked Wichita? You didn't shock them at all. Well, Wichita State Shockers. But anyway, Louisville, you're moving on to the championship. Syracuse, your run has come to an end. I had you winning the whole shebang. Unfortunately, you're not. But it's okay because Michigan, you're going to the championship against Louisville. And I'm hoping that Michigan pulls out the win there because the kid from Ottawa, Ontario, I think he's from Ottawa. Anyway, he's Canadian. Nick Stauskas on Michigan. He went like 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 last night, which is really not his style. I don't know if it was because of the depth perception. I mean, when you have the big crowd, it gets a little bit harder. It's harder to analyze your shot because you're used to playing it in smaller arenas, and that's what happens. So today's show, I'm actually going to be sticking with basketball. I've already went through the top NHL teams since 2000, as well as the top baseball teams. Now I'm going through the NBA and listing the top 5 basketball teams and bottom 5 teams since 2000. 13 seasons to be exact. I'm going to go through the middle teams. So what I did is I just took each season and divided by 13. Simple mathematics. That's it. So we'll go the Boston Celtics, 44 wins, along with the Miami Heat, 44. Houston and Orlando had 43. Denver, Indiana, and Portland had 42. New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Sacramento at 41. Oklahoma is at 40. Cleveland and Milwaukee, they're stuck at 38. Brooklyn, 36. Brooklyn/New Jersey. Let's see, 36. As well as Chicago and Minnesota, they both are at 36 average wins. The New York Knicks and Toronto Raptors are tied at 35, and the Atlanta Hawks at 34. So we're going to kick it off with the bottom 5 worst teams. First off, the Memphis Grizzlies, previously the Vancouver Grizzlies, 33 wins on average. Made 5 playoff appearances since 2000. Some key players they've had: Paul Gasol, his brother Marc Gasol, Rudy Gay, Mike Miller, Shane Battier, and Zach Randolph. For me, when I look at Memphis, it's always been a big man and little man problem. Not enough guys to really contribute and dish it out to the big men. And then when you get the big men, you don't have the little men. It's really pull. It's harder to really get a team going when the big men aren't getting the ball, and that sort of thing. I think big men are the ones that really control the NBA. Memphis didn't have some that could really get it down to the big guys. Golden State Warriors, 31 wins on average, 1 playoff appearance, and they upset someone. Some key players: Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Jason Richardson, Anton Jameson, and Monte Ellis. For me, when I look at Golden State, I just find that they got really unlucky through the drafts. A lot of injuries take place, and when you look at a lot of the teammates and the members of the team, I didn't feel like there was a lot of chemistry. I don't know if maybe the players just didn't like the management. I don't know exactly what it was, but I never seen, up until the last 3 or 4 years, I mean Stephen Curry right now, but up until then, when I watched the games, they didn't look really excited, and that's what you need in basketball. A basketball team, you need excitement, swagger. Next up, LA Clippers. They used to be bad, now they're Lob City bitch. But they've had 31 wins on average as well, 2 playoff appearances. Some key players: Elton Brand, Corey Maggette, Chris Kaman. Now you got Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. I mean, for the start, the Clippers just they had to deal with the fact that no one wanted to play for the Clippers because there was the bigger teams that they could have went to. So a lot of free agents passed over for the Clippers, and a lot of their draft picks just really fizzled out. They were nothing at all. They didn't contribute to the team, and they haven't really contributed to other teams as well, and that's what happened. But now they're up and coming. You got Jordan, Paul, Griffin. You got a great bench there. it looks like they're going to be fine starting now. Well, last 2 seasons. So the Clippers, they're up and coming. Charlotte Bobcats. They've only played 8 seasons, 1 playoff appearance. Some key players for them have been Gerald Wallace, Emeka Okafor, and Raymond Felton. And same thing can be said about Charlotte. Like for the Clippers, they just drafting has been brutal. It never really. I mean, now they're getting like guys like Michael Gilchrist, and but the problem is they never really had like a core. They don't have really. They might have one good player, but not the other 4 are really bench players. So I mean, they got Michael Gilchrist right now, and Kemba Walker. So they're coming up, but they need a big guy, and hopefully they can get that. The Washington Wizards, the worst team, just brutal, worst team since 2000. But they made 4 playoff appearances, which is crazy because Charlotte has a better average, as well as the Clippers and Golden State. Yet Washington's made the playoffs more times than them all combined. So it's, combined. Golden State, Clippers, and Charlotte have made 4 playoff appearances combined. Wizards have made 4 themselves. Some key appearances, key players, Gilbert Arenas, Anton Jameson again, Juwan Howard, Caron Butler, Larry Hughes, and Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan. Anyway, so Wizards' problem has always been the exact same as all the other teams. Poor drafting. Players just not working out. Kwame Brown. Just a lot of things that didn't really fall for them, and you get 1, 2 good players, but you don't have a supporting cast, and you need a supporting cast. They're looking a bit better. I like John Wall a lot, so it's going to take a couple of years. However, those are your 5 worst teams. The top 5 teams, we actually got a tie for 5th. The Detroit Pistons. They've won 1 title and went to another championship, but lost it. Some key players for them: Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Tyson Prince, and Rasheed Wallace. Detroit's style was defense. They were brick walls. It was the hardest thing when you have the defensive player of the year with Ben Wallace. Consistently, big block guy, ripping down boards. I mean, it just felt like that was the whole team. Like, great chemistry all around. It felt like every player on there was from Detroit. Not the Pistons, but the actual city of Detroit. I always felt like they were the hard-nosed people, and I would not want F with any of them. For reals. And the Utah Jazz, 45 wins. Both Detroit and Utah had 45 wins apiece since 2000 average. No titles or appearances in the finals, however. Some key guys: Karl Malone, John Stockton, Andre Kirilenko, Carlos Boozer, and Deron Williams. And for me, it was the exact same thing where you have, with Malone and Stockton for the early 2000s, they had a young guy with Kirilenko, but they didn't have supporting cast. And as it's getting deeper and deeper, they're not getting a supporting cast no matter what. I mean, Deron Williams with Kirilenko, they just didn't have anyone coming off the bench. And it just, right now, I love Derek Favors, but there's no one really to help him. And right now they're looking out down the playoffs, so it looks like Utah, they're going down. Down, down, in and only around, and sugar, we're going down, swinging. I've had that song stuck in my head since like 2 nights ago, and I hate it. Please put another song in my head. I don't even care if it's Thrift Shop. What? Yeah, that Thrift Shop. The 4th best team since 2000 is the Phoenix Suns. 48 wins on average, no titles, no finals appearances. I don't get it. These are premier teams, but they don't get to the finals. They've had guys like Sean Marion, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and Stephon Marbury, and it's kind of like where the lower teams, the 5 bottom teams, where they didn't have supporting cast. The Phoenix Suns, I always felt like they had 1 or 2, possibly 3 good guys, but their bench was the worst in the league, and that's why Phoenix wasn't able to get it to the finals. Because I mean, even though you have guys like Steve Nash getting down, I mean, they brought in Shaquille O'Neal. It just, when you have the run and gun style, you don't have the defense, and the starters get tired. And when you put on the guys from the bench, they're brutal, and that's going to really shut any hopes of titles coming your way, Suns. LA Lakers, you're the 3rd best team, an average of 53 wins. You've had 5 titles and lost twice in the finals. Key guys: Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, Rick Fox. Who else did I miss? Paul Gasol, Lamar Odom, really key guys for the Lakers the last two finals championships. And just for the Lakers, that's exactly what they had. They had a team. It was always a really good supporting cast with Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, good guys coming off the bench. It felt like a complete team. When Shaquille O'Neal was traded, it kind of, for the next 3 years, it was just Kobe Bryant's team. Took a bit for Lamar Odom to really get going. But then you bring in Paul Gasol, you got your big guys, draft Andrew Bynum. And you got your big guys, you got your core guys, got good guys coming off the bench. And that's what happened with the Lakers. The Dallas Mavericks, 54 wins on average, one title and lost once in the finals, I believe, to the Miami Heat in 2006. Some key guys for them: Jerry Stackhouse, Josh Howard, Steve Nash, Michael Finley, and Dirk Nowitzki. For Dallas, they've had just like that those key guys. I mean, Jason Kidd, he was there for a bit. I just feel like for Dallas, no matter what, they had the big guys that down low with like Nowitzki and Howard and it just Tyson Chandler. It just felt like everything I just said, where you need a whole supporting cast. When I look at Dallas, I didn't really see a whole supporting cast. I just seen some really talented players that really took it upon themselves, and you didn't need anyone else. I mean, Jason Terry, when he came in, he helped them out a lot, and always just felt like they were one of those teams that is always going to be good, no matter who they put on the floor. And that's just the vibe I get from the Mavericks. And the top team in the NBA since 2000, no doubt about it, San Antonio Spurs, an average of 57 wins, 3 NBA titles, and I believe they lost once in the finals. I can't remember now. They've had guys like the Admiral, David Robinson, Robert Horry was there for a bit, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and that was, I mean, on the floor when you have Robinson and Duncan, then you bring in Parker and Ginobili. It was always great guys coming off the bench to relieve the guys. So Spurs had that coach, Greg Popovich. He just really, he's a great, he is a great mind. I find he always makes the right decisions at the right moment to put his team ahead. And I mean, 3 titles speaks tremendously for him. I mean, he had great talent on the team, and he worked it. Popovich did a wonderful job. If it wasn't for Phil Jackson, I'd say that Popovich was one of the best coaches in NBA history. So I should actually said Lakers had Phil Jackson, who, mind you, I mean, he's won, what, like 10, 11 NBA titles as a head coach. He was there with the Bulls when they went on their, like, what, 5 NBA straight championships? Or was it 3, sorry. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 5 best teams: San Antonio Spurs, Dallas Mavericks, Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns, and the Detroit Pistons and Utah Jazz tied at number 5. And the 5 worst teams: Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Clippers, Charlotte Bobcats, and Washington Wizards. If you were really shocked about any of the top 5 teams, let me know, or the bottom 5. I didn't think Memphis would be a bottom 5 team. Actually, I had no clue about that. I thought they'd be middle pack. And the Suns and Jazz, I didn't expect them to be that high up there. And I mean, I didn't like. It's surprising for me to see the Bulls and the Knicks lower middle. I wasn't really expecting that. So, and to really see New Orleans in the middle of the pack, and so it's just really interesting. This is something that is really fun for me, actually. Just sports in general, no matter what. I'll just sit there and I'll be wondering something, and it's really fascinating, and that's what I like. I hope you're fascinated by this as well. That's it for today's episode. I'm pumped. I'll say it again, pumped for the NCAA Championship Finals tomorrow night, Louisville versus Michigan. I hope you guys are just as pumped. And I hope you tune into tomorrow's episode as well. But that's it for my brain, my heart, sports talk with Mike. I am not going to be drinking at all tonight. I'm really disappointed because there's no Walking Dead. I guess I'll have to go with Big Brother. Maybe I'll have to be drunk to watch that. There's no Gary.